Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Because we are rich from birth. Hello, hello, and welcome to the Rich from Birth podcast. I'm only excited because I know that your life is about to change. I am your host, Jessica A. Ross, and I'm here with
Coach Rich.
I'm so excited because you have entered the room of requirements, and your requirement to dive into the depths of the riches that you've been born with is your life and your mind. That's all you need.
Absolutely.
And to begin, we are going to start with 7 I ams that you can repeat after us to get your mind and heart in alignment. You go ahead, Rich.
All right. I am intelligent. I am ambitious. I am expressive. And I am righteous.
I am confident. I am bold. I am here for a reason.
That you are. That you
Yay! All right, so I hope you say those things on repeat in your mind because that's when you begin to change your mindset. Rich from Birth is a creation of Coach Rich. He wanted to make sure there was a space and atmosphere where conversations about the mind were really dived into.
Absolutely.
So Rich, for a moment, just tell us, why was it important for you to have these types of conversations?
I mean, because I want people to understand like how, simple having and being rich is. Like, it's not as complicated as what they may think it may be. So they'll never know that if they don't have a conversation with rich people like me and yourself. I
love that. I love that. I love that. So we are diving into our first season ever. Mm-hmm. Yay. And this season, we've decided to tap into Napoleon Hill's 13 principles.
The great Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. The father of the mindset being known as the avenue through Think and Grow Rich.
Absolutely.
And we are breaking down these. Our first topic is desire. Yay! So, the run of the show, just so you all know, we're going to tap into the actual references that we've actually brought so that we can have a really good conversation. You will get some commercial drops because there are people supporting our ability to have this podcast. Finally, we'll dive into the topic and how you can relate to it explicitly. And then we have an outro from our great Napoleon Hill that will align our minds and allow us to tap into the riches that we want to have, we know we have, and we've been given from birth. Finally, there will be a call to action, because come on now. Once you know the wisdom, you got to put the wisdom into action.
You got to. And action takers are money makers.
That part.
You know that. Yeah.
And then that'll be the episode. So hope you guys like, subscribe, follow, participate, take out your notes. This is the time to dive in. So let's tap into desire.
Hey. So my first reference for desire is, you must want to be rich in the same way a drowning man wants air. It is that kind of intense desire that will produce the results you are looking for. And that's by Grant Cardone, a serial entrepreneur, man, one of my guys, man. I don't know if anybody familiar with Grant Cardone, but like, he is a serial entrepreneur, real estate guru. He did a show where he like went to a town and like shaved all his hair and basically didn't have any money, and his mission was to get rich again like he had already, but with nothing, and like no limit, no resources, and just with himself and just in a whole different town. And he was able to, I think, generate like $5 million within like a couple weeks or something like that.
Wow. Yeah,
so shout out to Grant Cardone, but yeah, you must want it. You must want it. Like, desire is, like the equivalent to wanting to breathe. When you really want something as bad as you want to breathe, you'll get it, Eric Thomas also, that's another reference. I don't even think I had it down, but Eric Thomas, he said a similar thing, like, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
From that reference, the Eric Thomas one, I know that he talked about a man giving a young guy an opportunity to come be like his apprentice, and it was him going to the beach and him actually going underwater and experiencing the not being able to breathe, so that you get the urgency of breath. Talk to me about some of the times in lives where you've actually had the urgency that showed you that you wanted and you desired success as bad as you wanted to breathe.
All the time, to be honest with you, but like in the past, I would say, just thinking about it was, you know, just growing up with no parents. That's probably my earliest like memory of having like a burning desire when you don't really have parents and nobody to like take care of you and teach you how to provide and do the things that you want to do for yourself in life. Then, you know, you not quite naturally grow like a desire to figure it out and learn how to obtain the things that you want for yourself, you know? So I would say that was my first experience as a child, just growing up with that burning desire. Like, I'm gonna be something. Like, I don't care. Like, if ain't nobody here to support me, I know it's something on the inside of me that I ain't no, like, just no lame or just no dude on the street you just finna just kick around. Like, nah, I'm here, you know? So I just kind of always had that, and I went after it. I didn't know it was desire at the time. I just thought it was like, I ain't no lame. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't no lame, you know? It was just that. Like, I'm not gonna be no lame. I'm not gonna be no coward. I'm not gonna be just like nothing out here. I'm gonna be something.
I feel like the one time that I can admit that there was something I desired more than life itself was when I got everything that I wanted on the checklist of being the good girl, the good daughter, the good wife, the good mom. I had everything. I checked it off. You know, I even had a boy first, you know what I'm saying? Look at me, extending the dynasty,
Right.
you know, stuff like that. But I was still miserable. I was living in California. I had the beach 15 minutes away from me, but I was still miserable.
With all this around.
With all this good stuff that I had like worked so hard for, put all my energy for, and I realized that my misery came from the desire to have an expression of self, but not having a self to express.
Talk about it.
So it was more like understanding that like there was a breathing that I didn't even know I needed, the expression of myself, the giving of who I am.
Because it's calling. It's calling constantly.
It's a thing that really does call. And when it comes to desire being something that can lead you forward, talk to me about how you utilize like your understanding of I'm not no lame, I'm about to be somebody to like move you forward in life.
Well, I'm gonna just say this right here now. I come from selling drugs. I used to sell drugs, a lot of it, and I don't anymore, for the record, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted y'all to know that so you would know when I say certain things, you know, just to be aware of where I come from. I'm not gonna hide who I am for nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all, but I will bring you up to speed to where I am now. But I would say with that, like, you know, I had a whole way of like directing people's desires to what I wanted in the streets. You know what I mean? I had a way, like if I knew you wanted something, all I knew was I just gotta go get that. You know, or I just gotta know somebody that got that. And I'm the person that's gonna direct you to him or to that, you know what I mean? Like, and for $1. So I made it into a whole, just recently, but I was already doing it, but I made it recently into like a 4D formula, and that is desire, directions, destination, dollars. So it goes like this. You got a desire, I got the directions. You want the destination, I want your dollars. So how you want to do it? You know what I mean? And that's how it go every time, no matter what it is. You can use the 4D formula, you're going to make some money. I'm telling you, talking to somebody that did it many times over. You know what I mean?
In this world and in this life, things definitely wrap back around to money, like how you provide for yourself and how you do. And a lot of times when people are thinking about desire itself, it comes to the point of like, I'm desiring more from life or I'm desiring different. Do you witness the difference in desire depending on what it is? Like, is like money desire stronger than like a life desire for you, or what's that like for you?
I would say, yeah, some desires are stronger. I never thought of it like that till you asked, but definitely, I think, for example, money definitely is a strong desire. But I think a little bit stronger than money, I would say, is love. You know, because it's people out here that really don't really care. They might have money already, and they still have that desire because they have a void. You have a void to be loved. So it's like, even though I got all this stuff, I'm still not satisfied. I still have a burning desire. You know what I mean? And it won't never be, silenced or extinguished until you fulfill it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You talked about the fact that when you were younger, not having parents, there was this thing in you. Mm-hmm. Now that you have more context on desire and on burning desire is what Napoleon Hill talks about. How do you feel it in you now? Are there determining factors? Do you have signs that it's desire? Talk to me about that.
I wake up with it. I go to sleep with it. I talk about it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Everywhere I go, this is what it is, like that's when like it's a burning desire because it's like it consumes you. Like you can't really think about nothing else. You know what I mean? This is just all I've been thinking about. You get that first idea. I was talking to one of my guys earlier, and I was telling him, I gave him an idea. I say that I gave him an idea to help him do something he was already doing, and I already could tell just from me giving him the idea, it's been consuming him. He can't move nowhere else now. You know what I mean? It just got him, and I recognize it because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it take a hold of you. It won't let you go until you feed it.
I think that's the interesting thing about like somebody who had to define a self so early. It's like you have such a good relationship with how you feel internally, how you move internally, how you do internally.
Thank you.
I can tell. Like you're very confident in how you move, and coming from somebody who is like, I'm still working on developing what the self for me is, deciding if it's a desire versus like, that seems cool. Like deciding if this is something that actually drives me or if it's something that just it piques my interest, because I'm also in a stage of like, I'm willing to try stuff because I don't know what I really like. Talk to me about how you've narrowed down things that say, okay, no, this defines who Rich is in my desire. This defines why I move and why I push.
Well, I would say this. A lot of times we get like caught up in trying to figure out what our desire is or what our mission is in life and what our purpose is in life. And what I've come to understand is that, we get hung up on our purpose because we think that it got to be something that you like to do. And what I learned is that within my purpose, when I found it, it was really the opposite. I learned my purpose and what I wanted in life based on what I didn't like, what I hated, you know what I mean, what I had a problem with. And the more I really got clear on the fact that, I really got a problem with this, I start seeing it everywhere. And it's just like that's the desire. It starts to burn. And it's like, I got it, because I can help. I can solve this. I can do something about this. That's the thing. It's like, it's always a problem that on deep down inside of you that you can solve it. And as long as you don't solve it and it's still here, it's gonna eat at you. You know what I mean? And that's why you here. That's the purpose of it. You here to solve that. It's you. You the solution. Maybe not everybody else, but you the solution. Nobody else gonna get it, but you gonna get it. So that's why sometimes I was telling Zoe earlier, like, sometimes you the only one that can understand what you got going on. Nobody else understands. You get to a point where the things that you're going through, you can't even talk to nobody about, because it's you. It's your mission. You know what I mean? So put your big boy pants on and step. You know what I mean? Just know this ain't about everybody. This is about me right now. And you gonna get it. Just trust it and keep it going.
In that, like, because the idea of somebody having to face themselves enough to see what a desire is for them. Like, and especially with the quote that you talked about in terms of wanting that success or wanting that as bad as you want to breathe. Like, what are the mechanics of moving by way of your own internal burning fire?
First is just really getting clear on what it is that you want, first of all, and then it's about clearing out everything that's not that.
Okay, expound more on that. How do you decide? How do you know what you really want? What's that?
Well, when you do it, the way it makes you feel. When you do something, if it makes you feel like inspired every time you do it, like you get a certain level of inspiration and the time just flies when you're doing it, that's pretty much an indicator that that's where you're supposed to be at, you know what I mean? When you feel strong and confident at the same time about something, that's really like the sweet spot for you, you know what I mean? Like, you're not only confident in what you doing, but you also got a level of strength. Like, this me right here, I know it, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Just keep traveling that direction and it's gonna open up for you. You feel it, like it's like a blind man. I always look at it like a blind man. We blind men out here, like we feel our way through. We feel it, you know what I mean? And as we feeling it, the more we feel good about it, even not necessarily good, but right. This feels right, yeah, that feel right, and just keep going and trust it. That's what faith is about. Faith is heard, doubt is seen. You ain't supposed to see it, I don't want to go too deep.
I know, I was just about to say, you about to get into the next episode. But that's the beauty of like Napoleon Hill, because the principles that he teaches about, they all really do layer on top of each other. Like you almost can't have any of the other ones without identifying with the desire you have and all the things that they want. So in terms of desire, talk to me more about like how you acknowledge your desires, even if they might not be something that you think. Like, you know how there could be a disconnect between like the burning desire and then how you're processing it. Talk to me about how you move through that.
By acting before my mind finds out about it. Okay. If that makes sense.
I get it.
I can expound for the people, please. Though. Sometimes when your mind is habitually functional, if that makes sense. Like the way your mind, most people's minds work, it functions based off of habit. So when you do stuff, that's why they say we are creatures of habit. When we do stuff, you know what I'm saying, your mind naturally wants to draw like the pattern, the habit and everything, so it can get, comfortable on how to produce whatever your life is for you, your reality is, because your reality is just your thoughts pushed out.
That part.
Right? So, you just really putting it in your mind that this is what it is. So, damn, I just lost my point. I was gonna go somewhere with it. Hold on. Man, just go ahead.
It's all right.
I'll catch it.
You will,
yeah.
And I'm excited for it because in terms of moving through the idea of this is something that I might not think, or this is a thing that I'm feeling, but I might not know exactly. Like my brain hasn't caught up with the feeling of, oh.
That's what I was doing. Yeah. I was explaining the fact that how your mind is trying to create a habit so it can spit it out into your life. And you have to, when you're trying to change and go into a whole different frequency or become a different person, you have to offset it with a new set of habits. But off top, when you just shift from one habit to another, your mind is not going to pick up on that switch that quick. So it's going to throw a lot of different obstacles in your way that's going to try to pull you back into the old way of thinking, because that's your mind trying to keep that same program going that you had prior to your shift, you know? So now, that's why I say it's like, don't tell the people that you finna move, just move. You know what I'm saying? Because if you tell the people you're gonna move before you move, they gonna get all in your way. Hey, well, why you moving? Let's talk about this. And all this time, you wasting time. You ain't left nowhere. You ain't packed up or nothing. Your flight didn't left and everything. Cause you sitting here explaining why you leaving and what you finna do and when you coming back, and they just got you distracted from your focus. You know, so that's why I say that's equivalent to the mind. Your mind to do that to you. Your mind to throw all type of people in your life, distractions in your life, just to pull it back to the habit that it's used to being under that prior program. So I just learned to just like shut up. Don't even like let my mind know I'm finna go somewhere else. Just do it. You know, I stopped smoking weed all the time without even telling myself I'm finna stop smoking weed. I just go for like 4 or 5 days. Next thing you know, I'm like, damn, I ain't smoked in 5 days. Damn. You know, it's not a mind thing. Sorry about that. It's not a mind thing. I'm just doing it, you know, just like that. Like we are human beings. We have the power to change our minds. So all we have to do is change our mind just like that on anything, and we can do it.
I love that. I love that. While you're putting your phone on airplane mode, I'm going to pull up my reference.
For sure.
So we can tap into that
part right there.
All right. So my reference is actually going to be played. It is from Neville Goddard.
Oh, my God.
Yes. For you guys who are here, I hope that this kind of conversation is allowing you to feel for yourself. Do you have some desires? Are there things that are really calling you to wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about? That's something that you might want to tap into.
For in the highest truth, there is no separation between you and your desire. There is no gap to be bridged, no distance to be traveled. You are already that which you seek to become. Your comeback is not something to be achieved in the future, but a reality to be recognized now. The journey from setback to comeback is not a physical one, but a journey of awareness. It is the journey from forgetting to remembering, from sleep to awakening, from the illusion of separation to the reality of oneness. In this life, your setback is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a gift to be unwrapped. It is the universe's way of inviting you to remember your true nature, to reclaim your power, to step into the fullness of who you really are.
Yeah.
It went itself.
Yes. So for me, that was one of the coolest things I heard about desire in terms of there not being a gap in between the things that you can desire and your actuality. Like, it is you now. It is just about your awareness and your understanding of its becoming, of its actuality. And in that quote, and the reason why I'm so fast is because he be talking real slow on these YouTube, so I kind of speed it up. But it talks about the fact that the desire element is really your true and highest self, and it's beingness that you can become more aware of. And for me, desire, and the desire that I guess I want to move me forward, would be the one that transform me into that which I want to be. Like the desires that make me, you know, want to be different, want to be new, want to be changed. Like those are the type of desires that I'm wanting to identify within myself.
That is beautiful. And I want to say to that, like I wanted to say earlier, like the word desire, if you really break the word desire down, D is Latin. The root word of D means of or from. And sire means God. So if you put it together, it's of or from God. So it's not a separation, to his point, to your reference's point. It's not a separation between what you desire You know what I mean? From you and what you desire, because what you desire is of God. I go another way with it. One of my references from Dollars Want Me, it says about desire. Desire is evidence and proof that what you desire is already yours on the soul side. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that you desire something, that's the proof. That's the evidence that it's already yours on the spiritual side. I go another way with it. I told you about this earlier, about wanting, because one thing about the universe, it won't never give you something if you want it. You see what I'm saying? The more you have that level of want on you in your frequency, the more you telling the universe that, oh, you don't really even get it. None of this stuff is even real. So how is you wanting something that's separated from you when everything that's separated from you isn't even real? The real things are within you. So the fact that you actually want this thing lets the universe know that, no, he's not ready. When you're ready, what I learned is on the spiritual side, not the physical realm, wanting is when you already believe and know that it's yours already. You already have it. That's the way you want on the spiritual side. But on the physical side, the way you want is when you believe that you don't already have it. And that's what keeps it away from you. And that's what make you move with a level of, from a state of desperation. When you move in the spiritual realm with the want of already believing and knowing you have it, you move with a level and from a state of inspiration. And that's what attracts that thing to you, because the frequency that you own is in direct alignment with the desires of your heart.
The idea that who we are is reverberating all around us as the reflection that we are, and putting into perspective that our desires are a telltale sign of what we are to exude and what we are to claim, what we are to be, and how we are to live. You know, I think that's one of the things in going through finding references and stuff like that, because I be listening to so many different people.
Facts.
Narrowing it down to one, like the next episode I got 3. Sorry. Couldn't help it. But just like the idea of coming into a desire, as in coming into a new outfit, that is a now thing. You know what I'm saying? When you go into the store and you're picking out the things that you want, like as in clothes, you take it off the rack, and now in trying it on, that desire becomes something that magnetizes everything that matches it to you.
Ooh, slow down. Slow down.
It's a thing that I'm starting to enjoy more of, like the idea of acting as if, you know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things that when you dive into the direction that Napoleon Hill kind of guides your mind, it is to understand that the thinking of it as so makes it so. That's the whole think and grow rich, because your thinking makes it so. And having a desire and understanding your desire as a, and it is, that definitely addresses you differently. It makes you move differently. It makes you show up differently. It makes you contribute differently, because now that desire is a new place of being, a new place of you.
Man, that's amazing. I'm thinking in my head as you're talking that this is one of my favorite scriptures out the Bible. When Jesus first turned up on them people, man, he said, man, repent. Why? Repent means to change your mind, for those who don't know. Why though? He said, he furthered it. He said, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, or some translations say upon you. So what you were saying, it just made me think about that, because it's like he was trying to tell them that it's right now. The thing that you trying to wait till you die to go to heaven to get, I'm here to tell you, change your mind, first of all. No, that ain't it. They're finessing you. You know what I mean? Repent immediately. And then when you do that, after you do that, understand that the thing that they told you that you're gonna die to get is happening right now. So move like that. Move as such. And that's what he did. He moved like the heaven that with the milk and the honey that we've been promised to have, he moved like it was happening right now. And that's why his life resulted the way it was resulting. You know what I mean? He was walking on water. He was doing all type of things with the fishes and the loaves, man. Man, my pop's amazing. Ain't he? Ain't he though? You know what I'm saying? So it's right now. So that's what I feel like that's what you're saying when you're saying what you're saying. Like, it's a difference from when a person thinking that they gonna get all their desires when they die versus the dude that's moving like he getting the desires right now. It's going on right now. You feel me? Two different movements.
The idea of a desire being something that calls you forward too, like it being a seed planted by God, and it being something that like the idea that we're a microcosm that is the cosm. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that who I am is this whole earth. So if I am desiring for maybe a certain expression of mine or a certain something, then that means on the flip side, because I am this, that this also is wanting what I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the idea that
what you want you.
that part, like, and it's that cycle of allowing me to want what wants, so that I can be the want, and be that in how I live.
Yeah, I call that, in my mind, I call that getting out the way. You know what I mean? Because we can get in the way of what already is coming to us. You know what I mean? It's already on its way, on its path to us, but we get in the way when we go and think we don't got it and chase after it. Like I say, don't leave the house for your desires. Because when your desires come looking for you, you ain't gonna be there.
Where you at?
You gone. You left. It came knocking at your door. Hey, is Jessica here? They like, no, she went out looking for you. You know what I'm saying? So I just get out the way, and I stay at the house.
I get that. I get that. And I feel like this is a perfect transition into our commercial section. That part.
Hey.
First commercial is for McPhail Studios. We'd like to thank them personally for housing our podcast.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Salute.
Metro Atlanta, welcome to McPhail Studios. From table reads and content creation to conferences and unforgettable celebrations, our medium-sized studio can handle it all.
I've seen a lot of facilities in a lot of places around the country. This is nice.
The space is beautiful. The best part of it is the owners. They are very friendly, very cooperative, and they're willing to work with you.
McPhail Studios. Amazing.
Absolutely amazing host. Made sure we had everything we needed. Great job.
It was fabulous, from the food, the venue, the actual lighting. Thank you so much, McPhail Studios, for giving us the best party ever.
We had an amazing experience. 5-star venue.
This year, we celebrate 10 years in business. See you soon at McPhail Studios.
You can follow them at McPhailStudios on all social media platforms, as well as visiting them at www.mcphailstudios.com. Thank you so much. Our second commercial.
I come from the home of Richard Pryor, Peoria, Illinois. Not only is it the home of the greatest comedian that ever lived, but it's also the worst city for African Americans to live in the country. Growing up in Peoria was rough for me, mainly because of the fact that I didn't have my parents around to take care of me. So I had to figure things out on the streets on my own. In and out of jail, prisons, boot camps, and group homes. I mean, you name it, I'd have been locked up there. And it wasn't until I heard this story about how Richard Pryor bonded my father out of jail for a murder that my life began to change for the better. The judge ruled the murder an act of self-defense, and my father was freed from jail. That all happened before I was even born. So from that point on, after I heard that story, I knew that I had a purpose in life before my life even began. Before I ever set foot on this planet, before I ever touched a dollar, I was already rich. I am Richard Pryor.
Jam Good Living is a health and wellness support company that is here to support you. And right now, you can order your Happily Ever After activity book on Amazon now. Please visit your local Amazon website and download it today. Or you can use the link below and get it there. Happily Ever After begins now. All right, so back into the conversation about desire itself. We've had different references that we've been able to reference, but the idea of a burning desire, because I know in the book Think and Grow Rich, it talks about how, like, if you just miss that step,
it's over.
What else is there?
You're done.
Yeah, because there needs to be some willingness to give everything. And I don't know if this story came from Napoleon, again, because I be listening to so much, but the idea of this one captain who took his crew and they were fighting in is that in Napoleon Hill? Okay, then I got it from him. All right. But he talks about how it was literally like we pull up, we burning these boats, because the only way we leaving,
we win.
We gotta win and take their boats back. That's because it's it. That's it. Is there some kind of that kind of burning desire that you know that you have?
Oh, absolutely.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's second nature for me at this point. Like I was speaking to earlier, like I tend to, jump off a bridge and build my parachute on the way down because, I just know that that's when like my senses and my powers and everything that I have within me is sharp because my life is on the line, you know what I mean? So I have to make this happen. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm just one of them type of people that like I gotta be put in a situation where it's like I gotta win, you know what I mean? I have to, and I always say it like this, I'm just the type of person to put myself in a storm in order to get out of a storm. I'm the type of person to put myself in a storm in order to get out of a storm. A lot of people aren't willing to put themselves in a storm in order to get out of a storm. So, they stay in the storm.
It's interesting that you mentioned storms because randomly on YouTube, on Instagram, they talked about a difference between a bull and a cow and how...
Yeah.
You saw that too?
No, I read about it before.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
One of them castrated.
Well...
And one of them not.
That wasn't the difference I was thinking of, because that's a difference.
Yeah, big one.
But I was gonna say the idea of how a cow would, if a storm happened, they would run away from the storm and like try to get out of the way of the storm.
The cow would?
The cow would.
But the bull will run
the
probably too.
The bull will run towards the storm because it knows it can get to the other side of it.
You know why he know he can get to the other side?
Why?
Because of his testicular fortitude. His testicular fortitude allowed him to say, you know what? I can get through there.
Again, not the direction I was going with.
No, but I really read that in Think and Grow Rich. Like, it's when a man really doesn't have like balls to jump and do certain things, it's equivalent to the difference between a cow and a bull. The bull is he wild. He running, like you said, he running to it, with eagerly though. Like exciting, he running to death. Like he like, yeah, come on, bring it on. They finna kill me in there, I'm gone. I love it. You know what I mean? We want some more. That's the bull. But the cow, he like, they look scary over there. It's raining over there. They trying to kill me over there. Oh no, I'm not going over there. And then he running on this way and get hit by a car anyway.
Poor cow.
Poor cow. Got milk? Got milk.
When it comes to understanding that the divinity that we have, because we are God's expression of self in self, and that desires that we have are unique and specific towards each self that gets to be an example of self. Talk to the people about like
that.
Yeah, what could we do in order to stay more tapped into the desires of our heart in the way that gives us this present tense understanding that, and so it is because I feel it is.
Stop the world.
Explain.
You have to unplug yourself from the programming and the messaging of this world. Like, what I mean by that is like, you gotta stop watching TV. I ain't watched TV like in like over 10 years, for real. Like, I'm not a TV guy. I don't watch the news. I don't know what's going on. Like, if it wasn't for people being so scared in the streets during the pandemic, I would have never knew nothing about COVID or none of that, you know what I mean? You have to really, and to that point, now that we're there, I remember when COVID happened, it was homeless people on the street that were healthy as hell. They didn't have a cough, let alone a COVID. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because they ain't watching TV. They outside though. You would think they'd be running. They some of the most healthiest people that was around at that time. Cause and that's when I knew it was bull. It was a finesse. I knew it. I'm down there with them all the time. I talk to them people. They talk to me. You know? So I know them. Zoe know. They know me. You know? So they ain't sick. I'm watching it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking at all these people. I'm like, yep, you watch TV. Oh yeah, you watching entirely too much TV. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like everybody's scared. So the point I'm making is stop the world, man. Stop listening to this outside world. I spoke about this earlier. When you take the L out of the word world, you get the word. And that's how you take the L out of your life, by taking the L out of your world and focus on the word. The word meaning write down whatever your goals is. Write down where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. Write down what you want. Write down everything. Write it down. Make it plain. Make the vision plain. That's what it says in the Bible. Write it down. Write it down. Look at it every day. More than you watch TV. More than you listen to the radio, more than you be on social media, more than you be on any of these other platforms that are out here that's messaging and programming you to believe something that it ain't true, that you don't know to believe is true. You know what's true, what you write down on that paper. You know that this is what you truly want in your life. You know that. You trust that. You ain't got no doubt about that. So focus on that. That's stopping the world. When you wake up in the morning, you go down to lay down to go to sleep before you end your night and go to sleep, you read these things. You read your words. I even record the words so I can listen to it before I go to sleep. As I'm going to sleep, I want to listen to myself say this stuff myself. I'm programming myself. Stop the world. I don't believe you. I don't believe anything that this world says. Who said? Who sent you? You know what I mean? I don't believe it, you know, and that's how you stop the world. And the more you start listening to yourself and programming yourself, you will start to trust yourself more and more, because you'll see the results of what you wrote down, and you'll see all the people around you being in chaos because they listen to the world, and you'll be like, yeah, I used to be that guy. Not anymore though.
That part. So I'm excited because that has led really well into our call to action.
Yeah.
For this desire episode, I do believe that the call to action should be, and because this is a community where we're going to keep each other accountable to the lives we want to live, because we're all divine beings and we can have whatever we want. So let's just go ahead and get at it.
For sure.
I think the call to action should be for you to write down what it is that you want.
Absolutely.
Like Coach Rich said, write it down, make it plain. Give yourself the opportunity to catalog what you want, document it, so that when it comes to be, because you're acting as if it is already, because you know that it's a thing already, you now will be able to go back and show yourself what work you've put in. To that, Coach, when they're writing down what it is that they want, how can they go about that process itself?
By collapsing time and space. By making there-ness, here-ness. What I mean by that is, Instead of saying, I will, say I am. Don't say I will, because the more you say I will, your words are powerful. You'll see what you say. So write that down too. You'll see what you say. So when you write down I will, that's what you're gonna always live and spit out into your reality is I will. It's gonna always be ahead of you. It's never gonna be within you as your experience. So to collapse the time and space, don't say I will. Make there-ness, here-ness by saying I am. You see what I'm saying? It's not I will be, I am. And instead of saying I want, collapse time and space and say I have. And then put it like that. Now, when you first read it to yourself, it's gonna feel funny because you're gonna be like, man, I don't got this, I ain't that. You know what I mean? This sounds like a lie. No, it's not. Because you got to understand what the I is. The I am is not necessarily you, but it is absolutely you. It's the I am, which is God, the God in you that you haven't been identifying yourself with up until this point, and that's why we are here. So the I am, when you put that down, don't even look at it like it's you. Look at it like it's God, and then you'll see that that is true. I do have that, because God has everything.
Amen.
And he is within me. So I have everything. And the more you meditate on that and vibrate on that, your spirit is going to pick up on that, and you're going to feel it emotionally, and you're going to vibrationally attract everything that you wrote down on that paper. You're going to see what you say.
I love that. All right, so you got your call to action, and now we're going to do our benediction.
O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but I ask for more wisdom to do with the riches that you already gave me from birth.
Amen.
And so it is.
Yes. All right. Thank you so very much for tuning into our first episode
We did
of Rich from Birth. I'm excited that you've joined us and you stuck around this long.
Absolutely.
Please like, subscribe, share, send this to the person who you know will care, and continue the conversation. Do your call to action homework, write it down, make it plain, and Coach Rich has some final words for us.
I would like to say that more gold has been mined from the mines of man than from the earth. So don't go to the earth to get the gold. Go to your mind and mine it for the gold that's already within you. And if you don't do nothing else, I encourage you all to be rich before you get the money and not after.
Because you are rich from birth. Bow.